Hey, now here's the video for getting started with the clock project using this little kit that I have. And there's a few things I want to say before you even get started. The first one is that this clock, the only reason we were able to get them and were able to afford them is I bought a lot and they were in bulk, but they are also very cheap and they're very flimsy. So now this is just a little tiny piece of metal that's so easy to bend. And if this gets crinkled and bent really badly, there's really not a great way to straighten it out. So these pieces are fragile, and you're going to need to take care of them and be extra careful. And you should also know that getting these pieces, the pieces of the clock, it's the last thing you're going to do. You're not going to go out and grab this first and then protect them for days or weeks as you work on this project. I do want to go through what it looks like to assemble this, because it's pretty simple. But I want you to realize that this is not the first step to grab this. The first step is going to be to have an idea that you want to show off and turn into a clock. It can be a piece of art that you've done in the past. It can be something that you have you're really proud of, or some cool material that you have. It can be something you've made as a family or a group. But you need to start with an idea that will turn into a cool clock. Maybe you want to make a teddy bear face, and then the clock is the nose, for example. Well, let's see what it looks like to turn this into a real clock. So here's a piece that will be the absolute thickest piece of material you can use. This is 1/8 inch thick, and if you I've already got a hole drilled in here. You're going to have everything ready, and make sure you also think about how is this going to stand up and what's going to protect these from people touching it or being near it. If it's going to go on the wall or if it's going to sit on a desk, what's going to keep it up. Now this is so thick that you really can't get much else in here. There's this rubber washer that is supposed to go behind and keep the clock from turning. But it's too thick that you're not able to use it. If you are going to use something this thick, you're going to have to skip the rubber washer. There's also this brass colored washer that's supposed to go on the top. Barely be able to get that to fit there. And so we'll skip that as well. The nut, the hexagon shaped thing, is what tightens on top of this, and you're going to have to get it as tight as you can without wrenching or forcing it super hard, because this is a fragile mechanism back here. Now this does have a wall mount already on it, so if you're going to hang it on a nail, this clock could hang on a nail just like this, or if I turn it sideways, tighten it back up. Now it may fit like this. When you are ready and you've got your clock set up, you know how it's going to sit. There's no more work to be done on the clock part. It's as simple as putting these 3 arms on in order. So now the hour hand has the largest circle. The minute hand, which is longer, has the smaller circle, and then the second hand is a very small post. So this will slide over the white part and fit just like so. And now that I've got this ready to go, this hour hand fits over the largest post that's sticking up there. You got to be careful with it. It's not moving very much. Then the minute hand will fit over the next tallest post. And I'm being careful to only push at the bottom. This is very easy to bend out here at the top. There it goes over that post. And then lastly, I'm adding the second hand. Now I'm going to add a battery to this little setup, you'll see that there's a little catch right here, and then a bottom part. The positive side of the battery, the part with the little bump sticking out, is what goes under the catch and slides in. And now my clock is running. Like I said, this is a little dangerous because any bump to this will bend it, and you will not be able to get it as straight as it is right now. If you want to set the time, it looks like we're set to about 3 o'clock right now, 4 o'clock right now. This dial on the back, by turning it, you are able to turn it to the correct time. So now, of course, your clock would be better off having numbers or marks or something that helps you see where 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock is. But now this is the simplest setup I can think of. So here we are. It's very nearly noon. So now that's set for the correct time. I'm going to need to leave it alone, but if you're careful and you take your time, you get everything prepared, you should be able to grab one of each item and use them and have a working clock when you're done. One last thing I want to show you. This is the device I'm using to hold all of the parts, and you'll need one from each drawer, all the way down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 individual parts. But I want you to notice that these drawers are full of parts, and what I don't want you to do is rip this open, bend 24 of these little minute hands. So what you're going to need to do is carefully get this thing out and be ready for it, because if you're going to store this somewhere, it's probably going to get bent. Grab it at the very end. I'm carefully putting it back in. I'll carefully open the next drawer up, take it out, take what I need, and then carefully shut it again. If these all these clock hands get bent, they'll start bending other ones as other people do things. So I need you to make sure you are very careful, and let's make this a successful project.